Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Monday. It's November 11th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. One thing to take note of, somebody actually asked me a question today too about, how to trade days like this. What do you do because it's so quiet? But the main reason it's probably as quiet as it is today is this is a bank holiday. Even though there's a regular trading day for the ES, it's still a bank holiday, and a lot of your institutional traders are not going to be trading today. And so it's probably going to be low volume and not a lot of movement. And that's pretty much what we got. Another thing you got to consider is we're trading up here near all-time highs. We're almost to 4,000. So, we're trading at all-time highs, and not only are you going to probably have low volume today. Another thing that might happen is when you get up here to these extremes, new highs, you might get real quick sell-offs like this right here. Of course, this is an overnight, so it's easier. But we've had some, like Friday, we came up here and then suddenly we dropped down real quick and then we bounced real quick. And I think we had some more. I think it was the day before, maybe right in here where the bottom just kind of dropped out of it real quickly. I mean, those things are going to happen. Trading, when you get to trading at new highs and stuff, because the market gets real emotional. And people are just sitting on waiting on prices to get to those levels to sell them. And so you're going to see some of that, especially when prices really struggle to push up there. This morning we had one leg up and we had the correction, and then our target was right here, which is just below the gap on the chart, which would have filled here. And you can see we didn't quite get this second leg up. That's what we were shooting for. Prices were probably looking at this gap here trying to fill it. So I would measure that first leg. Then once we started up here, that would be my target if I caught one of these trades. There's not many trades today. I didn't mark many at all. And again, it's mostly because it's a quiet, let me back out one more time. It's a quiet bank holiday where you just don't have a lot of people trading. So you had this big move down in the overnight, and this market, as soon as it opens, it pretty much reverses and goes the other way. If you notice this main channel, you got a break, you got two legs to a new low, and it reversed. You had to consider this flatter channel too. We did get a break of it. We didn't get a new low, but this first one played out here perfectly. You got the break, and you got one leg down. Second leg may be a little bit more, but it's pretty close to a measured move. And you can see actually it's basically a perfect measured move. So you got your two legs down on a measured move, and then we reversed and we traded up the rest of the day until we got a break here, moved to a new high, and the day was over by that time. So really we were in this uptrend into the 2 o'clock hour. And you can see I don't have any trades marked here. There just weren't many setups. We spent most of the biggest part of the trading day in this little flat area right here. So not a lot going on. But anyway, I'm going to talk about the trades real quick and we'll move on. 7 o'clock came right in here somewhere, and you just can't go short right into all that support. Notice what's probably going to happen is you're going to break down here and you're going to get a failure that's going to come back even if prices are going to go lower. And there's a possibility of a short right here. It is a second entry short. I didn't mark it. We didn't break higher, but we're just going sideways with a lot of congestion. And again, you had the failed breakout and you're back here. So I would be trying to hang on to this long, hoping that you caught a move. You may take that short, but it's just really risky because most of these failures are going to fail. Most of these breakouts are going to be failures, even if prices are going to go lower. So, and I just don't like that setup there. Even though you could look at that as a second entry, notice the new low, first entry. You didn't break higher though. There is a higher low there, so that's a second entry short, but it's right back into that support. And you got all that congestion. Everything's above the EMA. Just not a good. You're probably gonna get a second leg up. So just not a great place to go short. So Again, when you had this failed break lower, when you got, this is basically a higher low. It's a double bottom. That's a higher low. And you got a nice little fairly bullish bar, a little bit away from the EMA. You're probably going to come back and test this at a minimum. You may come back to the EMA. You may get a reversal. But that's the place to enter on this one. And that turns out to be a great trade. And you could have got a runner on this. I don't know if I would have tried for a runner. I probably would have, since it was a failed breakout, because that's generally, a lot of times those can be important lows, and if it fails out the high, like right in here, it could be an important high. But it runs up. There's actually a failed second entry short here, but again, that's the first break here. This is support and resistance. It may just pull back and touch it and go down. It's just not a very good setup. This is really your signal bar. You could count this one because they're equal lows, and it does close above here. I just don't like, even though it's a failed second entry short, it really was a failure when it broke above this bar, and so you're losing some. What you might do is let it break above here and then drop your limit order back here where you would have put a buy stop, and see if it'll back up and then go higher. That would be the only way I would probably trade that under those circumstances, maybe. Then I would look for a measured leg up, most likely. We keep going here, and you get another failed second entry short right there, and you might look at that as a double test. But again, I'm not crazy about that one. And I think it actually broke higher and then turned down and then came back. I would wait for this to close and then let it break higher. I wouldn't take it on the failure there. I'd look for the double test and the fact that it's a bounce off the trend line and a double test. Notice you made that low, 1, 2. I wouldn't take it on that break higher right there. I'd wait for this bar to close. You could have done that, because if you take it on this bar, your stop has to go down here, and you still would have survived. But I suggest waiting right here, because this was a little unsure with that bar doing what it did. It's kind of hard to know how it was going to end, and so you were better off to let it in. And then if it broke higher, either putting a buy stop there or putting it here where you would have put it and see if it backed up, putting a limit order there. But I probably would just put a buy stop there, let it go. Of course, we run up, we get a break, couple of legs back. This one, you could take this one as well. It's a second entry long. It is off this support, although we're not back to the trend line, but we've bounced here multiple times. If you've got enough room, or you can get in with enough room, you may take that one as well. This one I would wait. You could look at that as a failed second entry short, but we made a new low there, and that's not a very good bar. But when it makes the higher low with a nice bullish bar right off the trend line and confirms that trend line. And I actually drew this up here and drug it down, and so when it bounced there perfectly, you pretty much got to take that trade. There's a little failed second entry short here on a breakout pullback, but everything's closing below the resistance area right there. And so when it pushes up and pulls back one more time, I like that one. It really looks like a breakout pullback long, but the problem is it made an equal high here, so you don't have a whole lot of room. You're being really risky there. It would have worked, but it's not a great trade, and I wouldn't risk any of these up through here. I'd want to wait for it to come back, and then it takes you in the 2 o'clock hour, and you really never get another setup. So just not a lot happening today. We spent most of the day in this, and then we had this big rally up, and by the time it reset, the day was over. So, but if you did catch this failed break lower, that's the low of the day, and you could have ridden this all the way up. I doubt I'm going to ride this out right here. I probably would have exited here on this correction and then looked for another entry anyway. But you could have ridden this all the way up, but definitely I would have exited by here. When you start going sideways, you don't want to probably hang on to a runner. You probably just exit and then look for some new setups. But there weren't many today. So, and that's just part of trading. This is where you have to be really disciplined. And I'm getting to the point where I almost say, even though it's not a holiday day for the market and you get a full trading day, it's probably almost worth taking these bank holidays off. because you just don't get a lot of movement. And if you can't sit here patiently and wait for the setups, then you're better off to take the day off. Because the worst thing you want to do is force a trade in here and get stopped out and be on the wrong side of this thing. So, and that's what happens to a lot of people. They don't have the discipline to sit there and wait an hour or two if that's what it takes to pick up a trade. But that's the main reason it's so quiet today, I think. Although I've seen regular trading days that look just like this. So you just never know how a day is going to work out, and you're going to get days like this from time to time. But generally, I think most of this today was just the bank holiday. So my little lines are off slightly here. I don't know why those are so hard to draw sometimes. Once you get them off, you just about can't get them straight. So anyway, that's what that should look like right there. I mean, it wasn't off by much, but it was off enough that it bugs me. I like to have my lines exactly where they're supposed to be. So anyway, I'm not going to beat around the bush today. I'm going to wrap it up and get out of here. Quiet day, few trades here, a couple of decent trades. If you caught this one or this one, and these were both pretty easy to find right here. That's the two best trades of the day, actually. So, and if you found either one of those, you could have had a couple of nice trades. So, especially this one here. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. Hopefully, the volume and everything will pick back up tomorrow when everybody comes back in. Maybe we'll have one of those big explosive days again. So, anyway, I'm done for today. We'll be back again tomorrow. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.